And our
Thom,
path to Bellevue, Kentucky comes here with Tracy Jones. You want a name for this segment?
No, let me just say something about Encore just for a second. Encore Technologies. You know, the CEO of that company is a guy by the name of John Burns.
Yeah.
John Burns is the smartest man in the city. He reminds me a lot of Elon Musk. He is a brilliant man. He's always ahead of the curve. Encore Technologies, tremendous company run by John Burns, another Elon Musk.
You know what? I am in full agreement with you. Going back to John's Burns days, running the whole operation there at Cincinnati Bell.
Yep.
And then John and Larry Shakely, among others, start Encore Technologies, and it's one of the most successful businesses in this entire part of the country.
Yes,
so we thank them. Do you want a name for this, by the way? I mean, we got to come up with something catchy. It can't just be, Tracy Jones is brought to you by Encore Technologies. It needs a name.
What about Brennaman Jones on anything? Because we like to talk about just not sports. We talk about all kinds of stuff. And what about BJ on the bench? Oh, no, that's too risky. There's a lot going on there. You know what? I'll let the guys, the boys, the ham and eggers, maybe come up with a name.
Fellas, do you have any impressions, thoughts? And Paul has a question for you before we get into the meat of our conversation today. Casey, any thoughts of a name for this?
I kind of like BJ. I like Brennaman and Jones off the bench. I like that.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
Okay. All right. It's a thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Paul, you had a question for Tracy?
Yeah, Tracy, I need your help. So, Tracy, so on Monday, or on Tuesday, actually, I was in New York for the Big East Media Day, and I was flying back with one of the Xavier beat writers. And we were sitting in the terminal together. We were just by chance on the same flight. We're sitting there having dinner, and I said, "Hey, what seat are you in?" And he said, "Oh, actually, I got promoted to first class."
Oh.
And I said, "Oh, really?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm an American Advantage member," or whatever it was. He had enough miles that whenever there's an open first class seat, he automatically gets promoted. And I said, "Oh, I have somebody I need to talk to about this." So I walk up to the desk and I say, "Hey, do you guys have any open seats?" They said, "Yeah, we have 2. I said, "Oh," I said, "Any chance maybe we're about to take off? Any chance I could get a promotion here?" They said, "Yeah, do you want to pay for it?" I said, "How much is it?" And they rattled off a number way too far out of my price range. And I said, "No, you know what? I'll just meander back on to 20A and sit against the window and just scrunch up with my 6'3" frame." And I pass my guy Adam sitting in 1A with all the legroom in the world in the first seat in the plane, walk past the curtain and meander on back to coach. It was a rough experience, Tracy, and I can appreciate now why you care so much about getting that promotion to first class.
Yeah, Paul, you're a young pup, so you got a ways to go. Let me just give you a hint. You're probably dressed in that lousy outfit you had right now with the hoodie. You look like Fetterman, the guy who's running for senator of Pennsylvania.
Oh, boy. Don't get me started.
Thom, we can always talk about politics.
Well, we will down the road. I'm not talking about that
will.
guy. Go ahead. The point you're making, he's got the hoodie going.
Yeah, Paul, you should that should be your goal, to sit in first class. And I'll tell you what I would do, okay? Just to help you with your ego and set your goals. I know you can't afford it. But just go ahead and pay up to first class. And anytime you fly first class, and that'll be a goal of yours. You'll want to make enough money to fly first class and not even worry about it. It's a goal of yours. I had a friend that did that. He flew first class everywhere, and he couldn't afford it. But 10 years, and then he just kept working. No, Thom, I'm serious on this. I mean, it's just a goal to do, because you want to fly first class. You don't want to sit back there. You want to be in first class. You want to use the first class bathrooms. You want to use the bidet. Actually, in first class, and people don't know this, Thom, you know this, after you go to the bathroom, there's actually a guy that hands you a towel that you can wipe your hands. Remember how that is? And nobody talks about it. That's the kind of treatment you get in first class.
Well,
Paul,
you get the hand towel, and on American, kind of like their staple that separated them a little bit in their first class. You used to get those warm peanuts in the ceramic, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes. Yes. I got it. Here's what was crazy. I was flying back from Cancun, and you had your choice of pasta or sea bass. So there was only one pasta left. So I took the pasta that I didn't eat. So here's the problem with that. Somehow the sea bass got mixed with the pasta, and it smelled like fish. So you know how they give you the roll, Tom, too? Somehow, some way, the sea bass got mixed in with the rolls. Everything smelled fishy. It was really, really bad. In fact, Danae does what she does. She gets on her computer and starts a little nasty little, email to American Airlines. And I'm sure it was just a screw up because the stewardess was great, loved her, but they screwed up on the food. Even the cheese that they give you, that had a smell of fish. And Paul, let me just say, just think about what we get in first class, and you can eat your little Bishop cookie. Remember that? Isn't that what you guys still get in first class? The little cookies?
I have to ask for extras. That's the best snack you can get on a plane.
Well, until you fly first class. You get a full meal, you get a salad, you get a dessert. It's very nice.
Well, it can't be that
You'll
nice.
get there, buddy.
You said the whole thing smelled like fish.
Well, that's a true story. That was a bad experience.
All right, Tracer, the baseball playoffs, now the league championship series. And look, the primary reason we have you on this show, right, is because you see things ahead of time, because you played for 5 major league teams, that the rest of us, we can only hope to see. You said the Padres were going to play in the National League Championship Series. In fact, you said the Padres were going to play in the World Series. It didn't look too good. They lose game 1. They're shut out. Yesterday, they're behind 4-0 after an inning and a half. And then what happened, Tracer? What happened?
Yeah, the Padres came back. But I want to go back to something that was said Tuesday. And remember, Tom, I have a memory like an elephant. And I think you predicted the Guardians, or is it Guardians or Indians?
I was corrected earlier. I said Indians, and somebody corrected me.
We don't want to get in trouble with that woke crowd. You know how that is, Tom. I can't wait till Elon Musk. I can't wait till Elon Musk buys. Well, he's bought Twitter. I think it's supposed to, be done. The deal done in 2 weeks. So now we can actually say things, right?
Yes.
Freedom of speech. Remember that?
Yes.
So what were we talking about? The playoffs?
You were talking about how I predicted the Guardians would win Game 5.
Yes.
You predicted the Yankees, and guess who was right?
Well, Tom, stay in your lane, please. Please, leave this stuff up to the baseball expert. Hey, I don't know if you saw this, and I was very disappointed. How about Juan Soto losing that ball in the sun?
Yeah.
And, there's no excuse for that. Really
Wait
isn't.
a minute. Hold on a minute now. Are you telling me... And look, it can happen at the most inopportune time. Nobody cares if it happens in June. I mean, they care, but they don't care like they care in October. You mean to tell me you've never, all those days growing up in sunny Southern California, you played all over the minor leagues and in the big leagues, San Francisco, a lot of day games out there, and you're playing at old Candlestick Park. You mean to tell me you never lost a ball in the sun?
Never, ever, ever. And I think the reason is because I am from Southern California. Paul, you ought to try to make it, in case you guys ought to try to make it to Southern California and see how the real people live. That's a great place to live, but you got to make a lot of money. Again, start off with first class. And then
those aren't real people. You had the wrong word choice there. Those are not real people, but go ahead, please. You've never lost a ball in the sun.
This is a true story. I used to take ball, because I didn't have many friends growing up. It's hard to imagine. But I used to take a tennis ball and I'd throw it, or a baseball, and throw it up in the sun. And I actually had the flip downs. Do you remember the flip downs?
Yep.
And I would do the flip downs, throw the ball in the sun. And then also what you need to do is you need to take your glove with the flip downs and shade the sun. So you not only got the flip downs, you've got the glove, and then you have to maneuver your body away from the sun so you can get a clean view of the ball. It's very simple. That's not the first time Soto's played right field in a day game, right, in San Diego, in Petco Park. That was a big play. And then the next guy hits a ball that almost hit the left fielder in the foot. It's like, hey, lay out a little bit. I mean, the Padres came back and won, but I thought that outfield play was terrible.
Yeah. And but the bottom line is they come back and win, and I would argue that Wheeler is actually their number one and Nola's their number two. But Nola just fell apart. I don't know what happened to him, and now all of a sudden you're going into Philadelphia. You and I both know, Tracer, that it's one thing to play in sunny Southern California. It's another thing now to get down to gritty and edgy and tough and nasty Philadelphia tomorrow night under the lights in Philly. That place, that'll have an edge to it tomorrow night now.
Yes, I played a game in Philadelphia that with the Giants, we were ahead 17-1. The Giants were beating the Phillies at Veterans Stadium. I was playing left field. And do you know how many hits I had, Tom?
3, 4?
0. No, 0.
Oh,
17.
You were the Lone Ranger in that lineup.
Lone Ranger. And I've got these 4 guys, and it starts to rain, so everybody kind of clears out. And I've got these 4 guys that just start to rag on me. And you know what? You have to admit, the people from the East Coast, they can do that ribbing a little bit.
Yes,
they can do some bench jockeying, right? The girls are ugly. They're on the East Coast. We know that. But the guys are pretty witty. And they started hammering me and hammering me. True story. I got so frustrated. I went in stands. I didn't hit him or anything. I just tried to scare him because I was frustrated. I was frustrated in my play. I was terrible with the Giants. And the guys from the bullpen, Atlee Hammaker, and I think Kelly Downs came and kind of said, enough's enough, and took me back. It was not a moment I was proud of, but that's how bad they can get in Philadelphia. The jockeying back and forth, you got to be thick-skinned, and you just got to be focused in on your play. Here's the crazy story, crazy part of that story. I saw those same guys in a country bar in Orange County. I saw 3 out of the 4, not the 4th guy.
Come
3 out of 4.
on.
Swear to God, we were there for my brother's bachelor party. I went in there, and the guys look at me, and they kind of waved me, and I'm thinking, oh, go get my brother. And brother's a cop. Go get the cops. Here it goes. And the guy says, Tracy, you don't remember us? I says, no. And they told me we were in Philadelphia. We were the guys.
You got to be kidding me.
It was a once in a lifetime. It's a crazy story. So I ended up talking to the guys, ended up buying them beers. We had the best time, a lot of laughs. And the guy says, we can't believe how fast you snapped. You are really a hothead. So,
that's a great thing really about Philadelphia and about New York, at least that I have found. Is that there's no doubt there's an edge, there's a toughness, there's a nastiness, there's an angry. All of those words could be used to describe a lot of people that come to those games, sports. I mean, nothing in sports is like the upper deck of a Philadelphia Eagles football game. It is a once-in-a-lifetime and only a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But that's the thing, though, Trace. At the end of the day, unlike your sunny Southern California folk, is that at the end of the day, they're regular guys. And you ended up proving my point. You're having beers with them years later on an opposite end of the country.
What I like about Philadelphia fans, New York fans, Chicago fans, they know their players from opposing teams. And if you walk out on the field, they'll say, hey, so-and-so, they know all about you. They know where you're from. And you got to appreciate, if you're going to be a real sports fan, that's cool stuff. In Southern California, where I'm from, they arrive in the 3rd inning and leave in the 7th inning to beat the traffic. And that's a true story. Tom, let me throw this at you because this is a feel-good story. I don't know if Nola pitched for the Phillies, right? And his brother, Austin Nola, got a hit off him to drive in a run. Can you imagine the genetics? It's genetics, right, with that family. How proud his mom and dad must be of the 2 boys playing in the big leagues. Do you know what the chance of having 2 big leaguers playing in a championship series are? My point is, it's all about genes, isn't it?
Well, I think it's about genes. There's no doubt about that. But I also think, and I'm guessing here, I don't know where Aaron Nola is from. Do you know off the top of your head where he's from?
No, I don't.
All right, let me just check.
Probably
something.
Southern California.
You know what? You might be right. Aaron
Right.
Nola. Okay, Aaron Nola, let's take a look. Well, no, that would be grossly incorrect. He is a Louisiana guy through and through. Born and raised, went to LSU, grew up in Baton Rouge. His grandfather, sergeant at arms for the Louisiana House of Representatives. I mean, this guy, he's a Louisiana guy. Anyway, point I'm making is, I would bet, I'd bet a lot of money that, are we having issues here with the internet? No, we're okay. I also think it's genes, but it's also probably his mom and dad. They could afford to send them to play summer ball and all that kind of thing, and did that year after year after year. That doesn't guarantee they're both going to make it in the big leagues, but I think that's part of it too.
You are absolutely wrong. I cannot believe you. You know, I really respect your opinion on a lot of stuff, but you are totally off base. You really are. Here's the deal. Let me give you an example. Okay, let me break this down as far as how important genes are.
I didn't.
My
Wait
dad
a minute.
always-
I'm not disputing genes are a part of it. I'm not but please
Tom,
go ahead.
it's 99% of it. It's 99% of it.
I don't
Let me
know
give
about
you an
99.
example.
So, but
Okay,
your point is what?
here we go. My uncle Bucky, played, didn't make it, but was signed to play pro ball. Okay, was co-MVP in high school with a guy by the name of Don Drysdale. Did you ever hear that? About that guy?
Yes, I've had
Okay.
beers with Don Drysdale. Yes,
Great guy.
Great guy.
My dad played professional baseball. Was ranked the #1 player coming out of Southern California out of high school. My Tracy Jones. I think we know my body of work, right? #1 pick in the country. My brother Terry broke Tony Gwynn's records at San Diego State, made it to AAA. My brother Heath broke a lot of George Brett's record at El Segundo when he was in high school, played for the Giants. And then my son Hunter made it to AAA with the Nationals. Very good ball player, but he got hurt a lot like his dad. The point is, it's in the genes. Look at the Alou family. They've got like 11 players, 11 people that have played, right, in the minor leagues or the big leagues. Look at the Bells. Look at the Boones. And I'll tell you what, too, and you could kind of groom your kid to be a big league player. My dad's goal was to get a Major League Baseball player, even when he was in high school, Tom. True story. When he was 16 years old, he started dating my mom. Well, and he thought, you know, first of all, he says, I got to find a woman who is strong and fast and that I can breed with to get a Major League Baseball player. So my dad would first ask my mom out because my mom was beautiful. At 16 years old, my dad purposely runs out of gas, right? Runs out of gas and has my mom, because he said he can't push the car, has my mom push the car to the gas station. And there we go. She was so strong that she could push a car at 15 years old to a gas station. He says, okay, now I've got the strength part. Now I need the speed. So my dad one time pulled the fire alarm, okay? He pulls the fire alarm. He's got a stopwatch, and he wants to know who's the fastest at getting out of the class. And who came in first? My mom. Right there, he knew that she was the one.
that's a
And
one.
just let me add, isn't that, you don't believe that story?
I do believe. I have no doubt. You never lied on this program, and why would you start now?
Okay, let me ask you, genes. No one knows this better than you, right? Your dad is fabulous, right? Fabulous. He's getting, you know, here's what people don't understand. Marty retired way too early.
I agree.
You agree with that, right?
Yep.
Because you listen to Marty back in the 70s and 80s, he sounded like me. He sounded like a mouse, right? He sounded like he had a terrible voice. But as he got older, he became peak Marty. The
Yep.
good thing about, and he's better looking, right? And here's
Well,
the
I don't know
thing,
about
Tom.
that part. I don't know about that.
Oh, here's the thing. That's good for you because you're going to get better and you're going to get better looking. You're already great looking, right? You never age. You remind me of that guy, and I wrote it down. Benjamin Buttons. Remember that movie? Do you remember that movie where he got?
I'm going to look it up right now. Benjamin Buttons. That was a movie. Who was in that movie?
Brad Pitt. You remind me a lot of
Yeah, I got a lot in common with Brad Pitt. Benjamin what?
Benjamin Buttons was his name. That was the name of the character. There was something else before it, but look it up.
The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
Brad Pitt.
Yes. He aged in reverse.
Kate Blanchett was in that movie.
Yes.
Okay. Listen. Okay. There are a lot of guys out there, and maybe I get dolled up, put on a little makeup, all that kind of thing, But I ain't looking like Brad Pitt.
I don't know. We don't know. You're still young. You're going to get better like your dad. It's all about the genes.
And you know what? I can't. The more and more you make the point, because I'm convinced our son Luke is going to be the best broadcaster of the bunch.
Oh.
He's already far ahead of the game. He's on his game. He's got to focus on the lacrosse season right now. But we get through that, he can move on and start doing what he wants to do. The Yankees and the Astros. Now, Justin Verlander stunk the joint up during the division series. But you and I both know there are guys and then there are guys. And here he comes, game one. The mighty Yankees come rolling into Houston. Guy was unbelievable. Retired the last 11, gives up 1 run in 6 innings. That's why he's Justin Verlander.
He really is that good. I mean, what did you say? 5 innings, 11 strikeouts, something like that?
6.
Yeah. I mean, he just he's one of the best pitchers of all time. Would you put him, let's just say, Thom, the top 10, maybe? I mean, he's really good.
He's really
he's
good.
been good.
I don't know. You start getting into some of the guys, and you and I both know, some of those older guys, the Christy Mathewsons. I never saw those guys pitch. Do I think, has he had a better career than Curt Schilling? Probably has. Do I think he's a better pitcher than Curt Schilling? No. And he ain't Randy Johnson.
No, he's not the unit, but he's a very good. I'm talking about right-handed pitchers. He's
right-handed pitchers. He's got top 10. I think you're onto something there. Top 10.
Here's the question I would ask you: Kate Upton or Giselle? Who do you think's more attractive? Because Verlander is married to Kate Upton. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Yeah, of course you knew that.
I no, because I got to tell you, I am one of the most illiterate people, uninformed people, could care less kind of people in the world about all that Hollywood and entertainment and all that sort of thing. I got the music I like. I listen to that. Kids will drag into some stuff that maybe I'll listen to and be like, oh, that's not bad. But I'm not much the, People magazine kind of guy like you are. You're kind of a People magazine guy, right?
Well, that's because I'm from Southern California. I mean, I'm pretty much, you could say I grew up in Hollywood. I mean, some of the people that grew up in Hawthorne, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of, Marilyn Monroe lived there. Eddie Munster lived there. You ever heard of Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys? You ever heard of the Beach Boys?
One of the most fascinating musicians of all time.
Myself. Mike Scott. You remember the great pitcher Mike Scott?
Great pitcher. Scuffed the ball, but great pitcher.
See, what I like about you, you're not afraid.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Here's I love doing this stuff. He didn't scuff the ball. He used a little tack in his glove.
Okay.
That's
whatever he did it well, because
right.
There was about a 3-year run there where he was the most untouchable dude in baseball.
I was leading off a game against the Astros and Mike Scott was pitching. And I hit first pitch of the game, threw me a straight fastball. I hit it on top of the plate and I beat it out. I got a hit. And I was thinking, man, that guy's got nothing. I came back the last 3 at bats. I didn't touch a pitch. I had no idea. Eric Davis, that series against Nolan Ryan and Mike Scott, those 2 pitchers, didn't sniff a pitch. He didn't foul one off. And needless to say, he didn't play that next game against Danny Darwin. But that's a whole different story. But you're exactly right. He was one of the best pitchers in the big leagues. Very underrated and unhittable. In fact, if the Yankees or the Mets had gone to that 7th game or 5th game in the playoff series and Mike Scott had pitched against the Mets, Mets wouldn't have won the World Series because Mike Scott would have won that game.
Yeah, you're right. So Yankees v. Astros. Astros are up 1-0, but I know you're an honest sort of a guy, and you'll lay it out there for us. Before this series began, who do you pick to advance onto the World Series from the American League?
Well, I still think of them as a National League team. That's how backwards I am.
They wish they were still in the National. Their fans wish they were still in the National League.
Yeah. I like, we talked about this on Tuesday, Dusty Baker. I root for people who I like, and I root against you. If I have a problem with you or you do something bad to me, I will come back and nail your ass. I want Casey and I want Paul to remember that, okay? If you badmouth me, I will come back and get you. Do you understand that, boys?
Fellas?
But that's not the point. Dusty Baker was always really good to me, and I never forgot that. So I'm rooting for Dusty Baker. And another manager we haven't talked about, and I'm surprised we haven't because he's really good and maybe the best manager. Well, he's a Hall of Famer. Terrible player, horrible player, Terry Francona. And you don't mention Terry Francona. Think about what he's done with the Indians.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it with the Indians. It really is something that the way he manages personalities, that's what he's really good at. And I kid around and say about Terry Francona because I played with him. Terry was a really good player at the University of Arizona until he hurt his knees. So I kid around, and when I see him, I joke with him. But very good manager. So I root for people who I know and I like. So that's just the way.
Well, obviously you like Terry Francona a whole lot because you picked against him the other day in Game 5. Boy, with friends like you, who
that's
needs
different.
Enemies? No, it's not different. It's not different at all. You just got finished telling us what a loyal sort of whatever you are, and you picked against, which I will remind Terry Francona when I talk to him again. I don't know when that's going to be. I'll have my dad remind Terry Francona that you picked against his team in Game 5. Gentlemen, we were thinking about ideas for this segment. I got to tell you, one of the best suggestions on here it comes from Nathan. Nathan says, what about the Ham and Eggers report? Tracy,
that wouldn't
any
include
reaction
me.
to that?
But that wouldn't include me.
Yeah, but wouldn't you say the Ham and Eggers outweigh you? I mean, I'm a Ham and Egger, no doubt about that.
Shake yourself. Wait a minute. Hold on.
And so are these two guys over there.
Think of it like this, Tracy.
Park.
Think about it like this. You're actually reporting to the Ham and Eggers. It's not that you are a Ham and Egger, but you are reporting to the Ham and Eggers around. Think about it.
I didn't think about that, Case. You're right. I got to take myself down, right? Just be kind of like the average fan.
You do.
Maybe do some tailgating, right? Drink some beer, eat some chicken wings.
By the way, I mean, is there any chance now this week, you're right down the street, and this will be the last thing we ask you about today because I know you got to get out of here and manage that financial empire of money, other people's money, and also being one of the larger, much like Town Properties, one of the larger landowners, and Eddie Shepard.
Perfect analogy.
Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area. Where was I going?
Hey, Thom, how many concussions have you had?
I've had 2.
See, that's what you just blame. Every time I lose my train of thought, I just blame it on my concussions. And hey, by the way, how dare you? You don't even ask me about how I'm feeling?
I can tell already you're so much better. The nose rehab thing has been a huge success.
I don't have a nose rehab. It's broke.
Do you lean against I was trying to picture if there is nose rehab, like some lightweight sort of thing. Kind of like when you get on those machines and when you're trying to do your buttocks or your thighs, you can set it on the thing where you're up against these 2 padded things and you go out and you go back. I was thinking if it was really light and you got that nose against one of those things, and started to kind of push one way and then come back and push the other way,
Yeah, it's kind of like a thigh master with Suzanne Summers.
There you go.
There it
If
is.
Suzanne Summers was there and that's the only place you could do nose rehab, would you go?
You know, I find Suzanne Summers very attractive. But I also found Mrs. Farley attractive. Remember the red-headed firecrotch? Remember her, Mrs. Farley? Remember her, Thom? Older lady, but she was very sexy. Marty would love her. Tell him, Marty.
Fellas, anything you want to ask Tracy before we let him go?
Any advice, marital advice this week, today? Anything?
You know what? I'm all into maybe organizing it. I don't know if I'm going to go. I don't think I can go. I might even pay for it. I have some extra bucks around. This is what I would do. I would get the Chatterbox bus, get all the guys in there, Thom, Marty, Brian Billick, get all of them in there, go over to Huddles. My good friend Gary Jeff Walker's the bar guy over there, the bartender. He'll fix you up some drinks. I think it's a great night. You could walk across to the B8 where they have a buffet. I don't know if you guys ever know that they have a buffet. It's pretty good. And then if you go there, just do this for me. I think you'll really enjoy it. There's a special dance there at the BA, the Brass Ass. Okay, you got to ask for it special because they don't just do the dance normally. It's called the 29 with mayonnaise. If you could do that, give them, go there. I think you'd have a great time.
It's called what?
It's called the 29 with mayonnaise.
I'm not even going down that.
Why is it called that, Trace?
No, we're not going down there.
I have no idea.
No way.
Wait a minute. Come here. No, freeze, come here. Look at 1 second. Freeze, 1 second.
Oh.
Look at who I got.
I love dogs. I'm a number one dog guy.
Oh, look at it. He loves me. Hi, Tuck. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, Tuck.
Oh, is he cute?
Yes, he is.
He's so cute.
He
Next
gives
time
you
I'm on
more
a-
kisses, apparently, than you got on your trip from Danae down in Cancun.
Don't doubt it. Come in. Look at him. He's so cute. I love him. He's a Havanese, purebred. We got him from Hungary. He was only $10,000. He's really smart. He can predict earthquakes and hurricanes and all that with a special bark. Right, Tuck? You go, "Arr, arr," right, if you feel like the earthquake is going to happen. Right, buddy? Is that a cute dog?
It is.
Look at him.
He is. He's a handsome little guy, I got to admit. Especially handsome next to you. Tracy, we let you go. Take care of yourself. Give Danae a hug and a kiss, and Tuck a hug and a kiss, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, see you, boys. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, you
See,
too.
the show was very boring, Tucker just said. You just yawned. Okay, Tuck. We go potty, right? Do we got to go potty outside? Okay, let's go.
Does it ever end?